Eyewitness News reporter Sean Delancey live at Huntington tonight. And Sean, word from the governor's office late tonight that their voices are being heard.
Yes, Callie, Governor Justice says that the new wellness program, Go 365, is now voluntary, but the governor's concession does not address a lot of problems people still have with PEIA. A strike is still on the table.
Spring Valley High School was the stage of the latest rally. Public employees angry over changes to public insurance and pay. The first teacher's strike in 28 years could be on the horizon for public employees like Joseph Cremines.
The only reason I came to West Virginia to work as a school bus operator was for the benefits. The pay, it's all right.
Or like Carol Dameron.
I want to know the truth.
A teacher's aide concerned she won't be able to afford insurance for her husband, recently diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease.
He had to quit his job because he can't drive a bus anymore. And we're going to need that insurance. He's got a long road ahead of him.
Higher co-pays, a shift in family coverage plans, and increased premiums and premium penalties for those not enrolled in PEIA's wellness program Go 365 are at the forefront of most complaints. The governor announcing that participation is now voluntary in the Go 365 plan, a step in the right direction, unions say, but not enough because a proposed 1% raise would be swallowed by rising insurance costs.
You should be worried about those kind of things.
Senator Richard Ojeda says the legislature is working on a solution. A bill already in the House and soon to be in the Senate will raise the natural gas severance tax by 2.5%, bringing in an estimated $80 million. Every cent going to pay PEIA's $75 million deficit.
We have the potential to be the next Saudi Arabia. So why are we poor? Why is our people struggling? Why do our people have to eke out a living going from payday to payday?
Local union Vice President David Thompson says a strike is on the table if things don't change.
It's a hard situation. It puts people in a hard place, but people are so fed up with it, they're ready for that place.
If it happens, Ojeda says several legislators will be on the lines with them.
Don't care about them. Shut it down.
Again, protest and outrage from public employees did spark a response from Governor Jim Justice tonight, with the governor saying the addition of the Humana Go 365 program will now be voluntary for PEIA policyholders, cutting out the $25 per month penalty for going without it. Meanwhile, the AFT of West Virginia is responding to the governor's decision, with President Christine Campbell saying, quote, "Today's decision by Governor Jim Justice is one step in the right direction for the hardworking educators, school service personnel, and public employees of West Virginia." Many of those employees were concerned that Go 365 asked for a lot of personal health information and penalized them for not handing it over. We will continue to stay on top of this developing story as it breaks, but for right now, reporting live at Huntington, Sean Delancey.
Eyewitness News reporter Sean Delancey tells us how far they're willing to go to make their voices heard.
Dozens of educators passionate about change in health insurance and pay, ready to shut down schools for the first time in nearly 3 decades if they're not heard.
Fully fund PEIA! I was on the picket line 28 years ago. I never thought we'd be here again.
Pamela Chapman has taught in Mingo County for years and is ready to retire. Still, she protests with her coworkers just like before.
We didn't fear anything. We didn't have much to lose.
Protests against changes to PEI's premiums, co-pays, family plans, and the new wellness program Go 365 have spread across the southern coalfields and will soon land on the steps of the state capitol.
The stuff they are trying to impose on us is not acceptable.
Local WVEA President Brandon Wolford says a mass protest is coming, but wouldn't give a date or details, afraid of what the state could do to shut them down. At a Monday rally in Wayne County, Senator Richard Ojeda may have let it slip.
I've heard that Friday there's liable to be a large group of people coming to the Capitol.
If the rally falls on deaf ears, unions plan to take it a step further.
I can assure you, if they do not hear us, we will strike.
A bill was introduced to the House this week to fully fund PEIA's $75 million deficit, called House Bill 4341. It would raise the natural gas severance tax by 1/3, all going to PEIA.
Fully fund PEIA, and it doesn't matter about the raise.
Despite being ready to strike, these teachers hope it doesn't have to go that far. In Williamson, Sean Delancey, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News reporter Sean Delancey live in Huntington right now with where the board stands on the teachers' mission. Sean.
Rick, teachers have been rallying across the state for a couple of weeks now, with many here in Huntington. A lot of people are afraid that this is going to reach a breaking point, leading to a strike.
Their teachers out on the streets, angry that a proposed 1% raise every year for 5 years could be swallowed by changes to their public insurance.
Basically, they're telling us it's almost like pray that you don't get sick.
Don Scalise joined his fellow teachers outside of the Cabell County Board of Education to tell that message. No raises in years, combined with spiking insurance, won't cut it anymore.
My deductible went from $500 to $1,500. Other people are struggling, and they have it far worse than I do.
Others say the whole reason they work in the school system is cushy benefits.
I love what I do.
Cassie Stroud is a speech therapist who could make more in the private sector, but PEIA was too alluring to deny. She fears a mass exodus if benefits are slashed much further.
I think we're going to lose jobs in the state. People are going to go out of state to get higher pay.
As teachers rallied outside the school board,
First place.
Dozens of students were recognized for acts of excellence in and out of the classroom. Sitting front and center, Board President Mary Neely, who backs the teacher rallies. Every board member wearing shirts showing their support.
I'm 100% for these teachers getting a higher pay raise and then marching up to the legislature or the Capitol building.
Both versions of the 1% pay raise bill are being considered by the House Finance Committee after passing their respective chambers. No word yet about what it might take exactly to cause a strike here in Cabell County. Live in Huntington, Sean Delancey, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News reporter Sean Delancey has been working on this story for us as well and has some exclusive information on how far those teachers might be willing to go with these protests.
Guys, this vote has been a long time in coming, and the Cabell County Board of Education has scheduled an emergency meeting for tomorrow to hear teachers' concerns directly. According to several sources within the school system who did not want to be named, teachers voted Wednesday across the county, and those ballots are in the process of being counted by AFT and WVEA union reps. WVEA local president Vera Miller says nothing is official until all of the ballots have been counted, a process that could take multiple days. But several sources say that the vote is leaning towards a one-day walkout at least. Staff at schools like Huntington High School, Cabell Midland, Central City, Guyandotte, and Nichols Elementary reportedly voting yes on a one-day walkout, likely happening late next week. The Cabell County School Board will host an emergency meeting tomorrow at 5:30 in the school board chambers along 5th Avenue to offer their response to this vote. All of this happening despite a bill passing the House Finance Committee giving teachers a boosted 2% raise for the first year, 1% for the next 3 years. That's more than was originally introduced by both chambers. A bill has also been introduced in the House to freeze PEIA rate increases, but that has been met by criticism from teachers as well. In Huntington, Sean Delancey, Eyewitness News. Rick, this movement is happening on two levels. One is statewide, the other here in the counties, and locally they voted overwhelmingly that something needs to be done.
Cabell County School Board listened at an emergency meeting as union reps made their stance clear. The state will change or a work stoppage is inevitable.
I think we have their attention now.
Brandon Tenney with the American Federation of Teachers says Cabell and Wayne counties both voted Wednesday on this ballot obtained by Eyewitness News, both breaking the 70% yes threshold, authorizing a one-day walkout February 16th.
The last thing that any teacher or educator wants to do is not do their job, but it's to the point now it's sink or swim for these people.
Rallies have broken out for weeks across the state, and this Sunday, local presidents will meet from all over to vote on a statewide course of action. WVEA reps say that vote is still in the works.
We only had 57% of our voting in.
Concessions from Governor Jim Justice, like scrapping Go 365 requirements, a proposed pay raise, and a possible freeze on changes to PEIA, haven't calmed many public employees. They say public insurance needs a dedicated funding stream that doesn't come out of their pockets.
We are looking for a long-term solution to a big problem with health care in West Virginia.
All of the uncertainty has spooked parents like Sarah Bell.
Ultimately, I think of my children and their education.
She's a parent of 3 who feels split. Low pay could cause teachers to leave the state, hurting her kids in the long run. A work stoppage could hurt them now.
I don't want that for my children. At the same time, if their teachers and service personnel are not supported, ultimately my children suffer the most.
Cabell and Wayne unions will meet this Tuesday at Spring Valley High School to decide on a final course of action. Cabell County Superintendent Ryan Sachs says that any days that are missed because of a walkout or strike will be made up in June. Live in Huntington, Sean Delancey, Eyewitness News.